I've got some news for you here, courtesy of the front page of this morning's USA Today. Michigan has made the front page, right smack on the front page.
But is the news good or bad or somewhere in between?
If you don't mind, I'll tell you what it says right here. You'll see this, in fact, all across the country today. When you walk past a newspaper box, you're going to see Michigan featured right there above the fold, front and center in the USA Today. And the headline is, Seeking Tourists, States Try to Recast Their Image. Pure Michigan? Think coastline, not urban decay. And this is a story by Rick Hampson in the USA Today, who says, this state's tourism ads make people feel good enough to cry. They give hope to the jobless and goosebumps to the jaded. Daily, they win new fans on Facebook, new followers on Twitter. And when they come on the radio, they inspire listeners to turn up the volume. They even get people to visit Michigan. The ads are stuff of Pure Michigan, a campaign to replace images of gutted cities and shuttered factories with visions of vineyards, lighthouses, waterfalls, sand dunes, and the nation's longest freshwater coastline. And while I'm telling you what this says, maybe Tony Cuthbert could give us the Pure Michigan music underneath. It almost sounds like a commercial for Michigan right here in the front of the USA Today. The campaign, the article says, is designed to boost out-of-state tourism, but what it's done, it's boosted in-state morale. Pure Michigan has given Michiganders something to be proud of, a bit of redemption in the eyes of the nation. And Pure Michigan is a prime example of state branding, the process by which a state or any other place plants a readily identifiable notion of itself in the national imagination. The goal is to make people visit, move there, do business there, or buy its products. And it has been very, very successful. And congratulations to George Zimmerman with Travel Michigan, who is on the other end of our line this morning, telling everyone he can to look at the USA Today this morning. Congratulations, Mr. Zimmerman.
Thanks, Michael Patrick. Actually, I've not seen the paper yet. I've only seen the online version. But very nice to get this kind of recognition, obviously, from a national publication. And we're thrilled about it. And, of course, we believe the campaign deserves it.
There's a photograph. I don't know if it shows up in the online version, but it's a piece of artwork of a sort of decaying house with weeds and tall grass. And then there are people like rolling a photo on top of it of a beach with the sun going down in the water and that kind of thing. So it's representative of the fact that we want people to think of the best of Michigan, not the economic struggles that we're going through.
Well, I think that's right. And we certainly, obviously our goal with the campaign is to attract visitors. That's our primary goal. But we have heard time and time again that people have said that the campaign goes beyond that. It really does put Michigan in a new light, puts a new image for Michigan out there in the marketplace around the country. And we've been fortunate in the last 2 years to have the budget to do national cable TV advertising. And so I think for a lot of people, putting a brand new face on Michigan from around the country.
I think the most amazing thing, don't you, is that Michigan.org is the most visited state tourism website in the nation.
Well, we're certainly proud of that. And, obviously that's the website at Michigan.org is where we deliver a lot of more detailed information about all the great things to see and do in our state. But I think for me, the most impressive stat has always been the return on investment. And that is that, for every dollar we spend on out-of-state advertising, the campaign generates enough new visitors who would have not come except for being motivated by that campaign to put more money back in the state treasury than it costs to produce the campaign. So, the campaign is not only bringing visitors to the state who are spending hundreds of millions of dollars at Michigan's businesses, but it's also making money for the state treasury, which obviously at this time is a great thing.
This front page article could have been about lots of other states. It could have been about Tennessee. It could have been about the Gulf Shore states. It could have been about Alabama. It could have been about Florida. It could have been about California, given their economic struggles. But it was about Michigan. And that falls, near as I can tell, squarely on your shoulders when it comes to giving someone a pat on the back. You've put Michigan literally front and center on the nation's newspaper.
Well, it's certainly not a single effort. I mean, obviously the team at the MEDC and Travel Michigan, and I have to always give credit to McCann Erickson, our advertising agency, for the work they've done in creating this brand, Pure Michigan, and then executing with the absolutely brilliant commercials they produced for us over the last 5 years. So, it's certainly a team effort, and but we're grateful for the recognition, and the story itself is another way to put a new face on Michigan for people around the country. So it's certainly extending what we're trying to do.
You may have heard I was in Kennebunkport a couple weeks ago, and I was sitting with Rick Litchfield, who owns the Captain Lord Mansion, and his wife, and they've owned this bed and breakfast for 30 years, so they're keenly interested in the tourism business. And as soon as I say that I'm from Michigan, the first thing they say is, wow, have they done a job with their commercials? And they say that they hear people talking about, one of these days I'm going to go to Michigan, or maybe I'm going to go to Michigan later this summer, and they never thought they'd think of Michigan.
And, we've heard that since we went national last year. I can tell you dozens and dozens of times I've had hotel operators, bed and breakfast operators around the state say that, the visitors are telling them exactly that before the campaign, Michigan was never on these customers' list. They never even thought about us as a destination. And, for those of us who live in Michigan and love Michigan and know our tourism product, it seems almost crazy that people don't know how great a destination we are.
Yeah.
But the truth is, before we started doing the national advertising last year, there were tens of millions of Americans who had never even considered our great destination.
Well, thanks for making us all feel good this morning when we walk past the newspaper box or we hear this music in the background, and there are lots of people planning their Labor Day vacation from here inside the state. Keep it inside the state, because there'll be no place better to be on that Labor Day weekend, and the schools won't open till after Labor Day. So enjoy your Pure Michigan like the rest of the nation is going to do in the coming weeks. Thank you very much, George Zimmerman, Travel Michigan. It's 18 minutes after the hour. It's Michael Patrick Shields on Monday morning.